Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening for everyone. I am Fariza Nufazuri binti Jaswari as a moderator for this forum. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our forum, I will introduce our panel members. The first panelist is Miss Nur Alia Muhammad Asli from University Malaysia, Kelantan. How are you, Miss?
I am good, moderator. Thank you.
Next panelist is Miss Fatimah binti Muhammad Halim from University Malaysia, Kelantan. Are you good, Miss?
I'm fine, thank you.
And the last panelist is Miss Siti Nur Fatihah binti Rashidin, also from University Malaysia, Kelantan. Are you good, Miss?
Yes, great. I am doing really well, thank you.
So today, an invited the panel will discuss about the monument and the ways to preserve this monument. Before going further about our topic today, I will explain a little bit about monument or building of Sultan Abdul Samad. The Sultan Abdul Samad building located in front of Dataran Merdeka is a landmark for the city Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. The building took name of Sultan Abdul Samad in conjunction with the name of Sultan Selangor when it was first built in 1894. In front of this beautiful building, several historical events take place. This is where the Union Jack flag was lowered on 31 August 1957 and the Jalur Gemilang flag was hoisted. This event showed that an era of colonization has passed to an era of independent society. The building was classified as a national heritage in the Heritage Sites category in 2007 by the National Heritage Department, Ministry Unity, Culture, Arts, Heritage Malaysia under Act 645. So we move on the first question for Miss Alia. So Miss Alia, why should we preserve this monument?
Thank you, moderator, for the question. The nation capital of Kuala Lumpur hosts many activities and historical. Today, I will talk about why we should preserve the fascinating history behind one of the KL most treasured structure, the Sultan Abdul Samad building. Throughout its country-old history, the Sultan Abdul Samad building has been put to many different use. During its early years, the building was simply known as the government official and was the home to the various government departments of the colonial FMS as well as the Selangor state government. And as I mentioned, the monument historically stood as the backdrop to the nation independence as crowd gathered at Dataran Merdeka to witness the lowering of the British Union Jack to the child of the building iconic clock tower. In 1974, the building was officially renamed after the reigning Selangor monarch during its construction, His Majesty Sultan Abdul Samad. While the Selangor state government officials were moved to its current president in Shah Alam. Now the building is used official for the Ministry of Information, Communication and Culture (KPKK) as well as a favorite spot for KL many sightseers and tourists. Next, the Sultan Abdul Samad building have strong link with the state when Kuala Lumpur was Selangor administrative capital before 1974. The building also hold a lot of memories for senior lawyer, giving the court were located there until the mid-1990s. That's why we should preserve Sultan Abdul Samad building as they hold a lot of history.
Thank you, Miss Alia. And the next question to Miss Fatimah. Okay, Miss Fatimah, how do we preserve cultural heritage in our country?
A country heritage and the history of it affirm their identity as people that can be introduced to the world, becoming of extreme value. Preserving cultural heritage such as sites, buildings, landmarks, and even monuments of historical and cultural significance. It reflects on the heritage which shape one belief, aspirations, and value, keeping the integrity of people. Another important of the perceived one heritage and culture is the knowledge of it being passed down from the one generation to the next generation. The value of this is extremely important for the minority group, but a bigger nation as well. Should instead learn from this perspective and knowledge accumulate over generation, whose know they might help us solve our current problems. If we don't stop to consider the importance of cultural preservation, all this age, all tradition and heritage will start to disappear, and we will lose our identity. Among the way to preserve the cultural heritage in the Sultan Abdul Samad buildings is a nation is able to preserve their culture and heritage thoughts, introducing it into education. Teach the future generation importance of their culture and heritage should be encouraged and guarded, safely taught knowledge. In the modern world, media also plays an extremely important role in the creating awareness and building an appreciation towards to the local culture and tradition. To manage tourist flow and avoid compromising the environment and cultural asset, each tourism destination should be identified an acceptable level of citation. This also helps to prevent overcrowding and creates a better visitor experience. We need to balance to the pros and cons of tourism, with travelers seeking local and authentic, indigenous and community-based cultural experience. We should definitely prioritize preserve our culture and maintaining authenticity while celebrating the positive economic outcome. We should all begin to take an active role in conserving our tangible and intangible cultural asset. This is also future generation can be appreciate the rich history of Malaysia.
Thank you, Ms. Fatimah, and a good answer. Next question is, how our historical tourist attraction promote in Malaysia?
Cultural heritage and the arts have long contributed to the appeal of the tourist destination. However, in recent years, culture has been rediscovered as an important marketing tool to attract those travelers with special interest in heritage and arts. Cultural heritage tourism are defined as cultural heritage tourism is the fastest growing segment of the tourist industry because there is a trend towards an increased specialization among tourists. This trend is evident in the rise in the volume of tourists who seek adventure, culture, history, archaeology, and interaction with the local people. Cultural heritage tourism is important of the various reasons. It has a positive economic and social impact, is established and reinforce identity, is help preserve to the cultural heritage with culture and instrument, its facilities harmony and understanding among people, it support culture and helps renew tourism. The introduction of the Sultan Abdul building is a building that is full of its own uniques and architectural identity and also full of famous heritage and culture and is always held high in the eyes of the other countries. Is it the admiration of the people and the pride of Malaysia as one of the famous heritage buildings? The structure is very synonymous with the city of Kuala Lumpur, and even Malaysia has this is a location of important festival that will be organized and celebrated by Malaysians, such as Merdeka Day, New Year's, and other events and celebration related to the nation tourism. The historical building of Kuala Lumpur, which is one of the interesting place in Kuala Lumpur, is also famous landmark in Kuala Lumpur, and most tourists of abroad are very impressed with the celebration that are often held here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Fatima. Next question to Miss Alia. Okay, Miss Alia, why is important to protect archaeology site?
For the next question, why it is important to protect archaeological site? First, it is important to protect the artifact and other material that are located within archaeological site. These artifacts have tremendous historical value and as such, they may be vulnerable to looting by people who see the artifact as having more monetary value. In addition, the material within the site can also be vulnerable to winter damage. So it is important to protect them for wind, rain, flooding, dust and other winter phenomena. It is also important to protect archaeological sites so that the archaeologists investigated them are safe. The site have to be protected from cave so that it's not a life risky ever though for the archaeologists to examine them.
Thank you, Miss Alia, and a good answer. Next, we move on the question to Miss Fatiha. Okay, Miss Fatiha, how do we educate our children on heritage perceptions?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me over as your guest panel today. So, firstly, I will answer for the question how we educate our children on heritage preservation is we can begin to apply heritage history learning in every school. Through this application, children are able to understand everything that happened through the development history that been left behind. This method is able to help children learn and understand the importance of preserving our heritage, such as history buildings in Malaysia. Among the buildings that need to be preserved is the Sultan Abdul buildings, because this is a landmark building for the city of Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. As you know, this is the place where the Union Jack flag even was lowered and replaced with the glorious Chad flag, the Malaysian flag, on 31st August 1957. Alright, and the second thing is, how can we educate our children to preserve the heritage, is that parents need to play a role by showing their children that the heritage is very valuable and need to be cared for. For examples, parents can bring their children on a visit and experience for themselves how the historical result of the legacy left behind can leave an impact on themselves today. Especially for the youngest generation, they need to see how valuable a legacy and sacrifice of the past achieve a success's inheritance. Like this cannot be treated or replaced or with anything.
Thank you to Miss Fatihah. Okay, the last question to Miss Fatihah is, what are the steps taken to protect the monument?
Thank you again, the moderator, for the question. If you are asked me, I will answer it. Among the steps that need to be taken to protect the monument is to gazette the development reserve as a tourist center. In this way, monuments such as the Sultan Abdul building can attract tourists and they can see it more closely. This second step, some responsible parties such as NGOs and others need to work together to preserve and protect the existing monument. They need to take the initiative of maintaining the robustness and aesthetic value that exists. And the third is to conserve the plaques or monuments that have taken decades or even hundreds of years need careful care and careful research, because each building is produced very finely and has its own special features. Each of the existing architectural work carries a certain meaning, so it is very influential to the society.
Thank you, Miss Fatihah. So we are at the end of this forum. Before we end this forum, I will give a conclusion about our topic today. So we as a society need to preserve the monument or heritage, so that the younger generation can recognize the history in our country. So that's it from me. Thank you to viewers and thank you to panelists for today. So that's all from me. Thank you.